Hey guys, so today I'm going to continue playing Long Live the Queen. We are on week 18. Let's see, our mood is afraid and we are going to... What are we going to do? I think we're going to work on intrigue and history. So we will go ahead and we'll do history because we have a negative to intrigue. So we need Novin and foreign affairs. Nova's history involves an endless slew of names and dates. Even as small as it's become, there are 10 dukedoms, no 11 now, plus the royal line. You hope no one expects you to memorize every lineage. 4 years ago, the Duchess of Hellas tried to foment an insurgent in northern Ixion over the Galban River border. Not only did that fail, but in retaliation, Ixion pushed troops into southern Marie. Tobula, to the north, underwent a pleasant revolution shortly after you were born. The nobles either fled or were killed. The new rulers have gone so far to establish official diplomatic ties with Nova. While they are not friendly, neither are they enemies, at least not yet. You wander downstairs to visit your father and talk about the latest events in the domain. You're moving with such enthusiasm that you don't realize that your father isn't alone until it's too late to avoid him and his companion. You are too kind, Jocelyn. Countess Syria, not a member of your circle. She's a bit more than a decade your senior, but far too old to have ever been your friend, and yet not at all old as far as noble women go. She has 2 minor titles, no husband, and your father's arm is in her grasp. How dare she make a move on your father? So you can shame her, you can insult her, or you can trip her. I think we'll just shame her. You meet her eyes and imagine your mother's disapproving presence behind you. Her color pales and she releases her grip on your father's arm, mumbling an apology before hurrying out of the room. You have defeated her. Once she's gone, you raise an eyebrow at your father. Don't give me that look, young lady. She is a nice woman, nothing more. She wants something more. It's not going to happen anytime soon. You should be careful how you deal with people like Syrian. You need the goodwill of your nobles as well as your commoners. There haven't been any problems so far. As queen, you must be aware of everything around you. I am paying attention to what's around me. Sure. What do I do for... We want to go to pressured. But we'll go to court. So we don't have a... We're going to go with... We'll just do more history, I think. No individual may hold more than one dukedom, but nobles seek noble spouses, so their titles often come together before being parceled out to their heirs. Your father is the Duke of Chloris, and his brother is the Duke of Mazomba. Bryn, the Duchess of Hellas, and the sister of Banin, the Duke of Marie, and so on. Aris, the Duchess of Lilla, is the mother of the Duchess of Mead, and the mother-in-law of the Duke of Kegel, and the stepmother of the future Duke of Illith. People sometimes call her Nova's Eastern Queen. In the distant past, the Yeveni tribes to the east rode great beasts with spines and tentacles on their heads instead of horses. The bones of these creatures are sometimes found in Lilith and mead. Their tusks are valuable to crafters. You read about the northern continent's Borealis, where the first lumens in history were recorded, and the discovery of magic shaped their development. It's the time of year to decide necessary adjustments to the royal budget. The majority of money we received is already spoken for, but there's always some room for discretion. I don't really understand all these numbers. Maybe I should just leave them alone. Just keep them the same. I think they are fine as they are. As you wish. That's right, Daddy. Do what I tell you. Oh, man. We will do guess more history. Oh, we gotta look at our other outfit. Yay. That's an interesting one. Anyway. Go with that. The Duchess of Sudbury is currently held in regency by the Countess Liluk of Dees and her daughter Gwendolyn, who is your age. She inherited the duchy last year upon the death of her father. The last two rulers before your mother, Queen Fadila, were your grandmother, Queen Ladesh, and her father, King Fuldbert. That's quite the name. The southeast lies the domain of Talise, which we have enjoyed fairly cordial relations. Sedena, their chief province, borders the Noban Duchy of Elath. The nobles from these two provinces have been known to intermarry. Yummy. You are requested to stand judgment. A man has been convicted of murder by strangling his wife. He does not deny the act, but requests pardon that he might be set free. If you admit you killed your wife, why do you think that I am going to set you free? Save me, your majesty. It wasn't my fault. Demons made me do it. Everyone knows the power of these magical beasties. They used me, they twisted my fingers into chains. My wife found me screaming. She tried to shake me, and these chains wrapped around her. I need the priestess to bless me and make me clean again. Demons that make you attack people, is that even possible? So I know that if I execute him, we're gonna die. Because he's lying. And I don't have any magic, so we're just gonna pardon him because we are just going to keep going. I'm very sorry for your loss. The monsters are responsible, not you. Don't blame yourself. The priestess of the royal grove will take care of purifying you. Bless you, your majesty. Because I want to try and make it as far as possible. We need to not be afraid, so we can do intrigue. You read about a 100-year-old war which left much of Borealis uninhabitable and created a power vacuum in which would eventually be filled by the growing power of Nova. Borealis is now mostly made up of tiny domains containing no more than a few village-like settlements each. Officially ruled over by Shamatic lumens, they have few resources and live primarily from the sea. The Duchy of Lilienth was not part of the pre-imperial Nova domain, but the western range of the Yeveni nomads. A fraction of Yeveni who wished to settle offered their allegiance willingly to the Unovan queen. I keep saying Unova, which is Pokemon, not this game. Oh dear. Their chief was named a duke. Because the Lilians are descended from the Yenevi cast outs who are officially shunned, the Yenev nomads do not acknowledge that Lilia even exists. They treat their western border as an invisible wall. The Novan emissaries, as travelers, are from an impossibly distant land. My lady, there's a letter for you. Who sent this? It isn't signed. It appears to be a poem describing you in a manner that is entirely inappropriate for a queen. What? With a squid? So, you can do that's hilarious or that's terrible. I think it's funny. That's actually pretty funny. Just then, an incredibly unlucky breeze swirls between the windows of your tower bedroom, tugging the paper out of your hands and off into the sky. You stick your head out the window and discover the poem is caught fluttering on the roof nearby. You can almost reach it. We don't have any climbing, so you're not going to climb out and grab it. Ignore. What's the worst that can happen? It blows off and someone reads it and laughs at you? That's better than breaking your neck. Besides, if you're lucky, it will rain and wash the words away. It's not opposite, so angry. We need to find an angry. Or minus 2 afraid, right? Yeah. You read a brief history of the rise and fall of the Novan Empire. There was a time where it seemed likely that Nova would grow to cover the entire world, but that all came apart. The Novan Empire once had outposts on the western continent, but was driven out 600 years ago. The most important domain in that area today is Shenanja. Over the mountains to the northeast lie the deserts of the Pyrrhus tribes, who are traditionally hostile to Nova, but lacking in resources to mount a credible threat. Small groups of Pyrrhan raiders are sometimes found in Kegel and Sudbury. The domain of Terax, far from the south, has warred with Ixion on and off for centuries. Even when both of them are part of the Novan Empire, your grandmother insists that the Ixionites are putting down the last disagreement 32 years ago. I regret to inform you that Fabian, the great titan of the Duke region of Illith, has passed away. This isn't really a surprise, he is pretty old. The problem is the political implications. With the control of Illith in doubt, it falls to the crown to make decisions. The young lord of Adar will not reach his 15th birthday. Over 2 years, he requires a regent. His stepmother, Aris, the Duchess of Lilith, has petitioned that the boy be left in her care. This, however, would leave her in personal control of 2 neighboring duchies, which is generally forbidden. Not to mention that she's closely related to the Duchess of Mead and the Duke of Kegel. She would control most of the entire eastern half of Nova. People are already calling her Nova's other queen. I don't know anything really bad about her, though. The boy does have a living grandfather, the Earl of Ishtar. Or you might appoint an unrelated noble to act in his stead. The Earl of Ishtar suggests another possibility. You and Eldar are both young and not too far apart in age. He requests that you accept the boy as your future husband and keep him here in the castle. I think we'll send him to our uncle. What about your brother Armand? He would be a safe pair of hands to watch over Adair. As you wish. So we need to do... I think we'll do this one. About 60 years ago, the Duchess of Merva died with no close heirs, and King Filbert claimed her lands for the keeping of the crown. After your mother took the throne, she recreated the duchy and made her brother, your uncle, its duke. About 200 years ago, a great black cloud formed over Nova, bringing cold and sickness. The sun could not shine, and the air was gritty and foul-smelling. Many people died, including the queen at the time, and most of the high nobility before the cloud finally dissipated. Well, that sounds exciting. An island domain of Malini was once a small outpost of the Novan Empire, but was simply forgotten about in the chaos 600 years ago. They were so pleased to have gained their independence without violence that they have remained a strong trade partner to this day. You learn that in the decline of the Novan Empire, slave raiders from Orcus terrorized the western coastline until your paternal great-grandfather, then the Duke of Caloris, led a fleet to their capital and came back with most of their treasury. There is a woman here to see you. She is a musician, and wishes crown patronage, which means money. Your Royal Highness, will you accept me as a member of your court? I will immortalize you in word and song. I have dabbled in musical styles from many countries and can entertain your guests and lighten the evenings. I wonder if she also writes naughty poetry. Musicians are often used as secret agents and messengers. They can be useful and dangerous. The musician sings a little ditty and demonstrates her skills with the lute. She's actually pretty good. We'll accept her. Very well, you can remain part of the court. I will do my best for you. We'll finish history, I think, so that we don't have to wear the outfit. So I need Novan and World, which is what I have. Until about 600 years ago, the capital of Nova was on the shores of the Catherine Lake in southern Caloris, which became uninhabitable. The new capital was built here in the Lampsey Islands, which was the chaos of that period which triggered an inevitable collapse of the empire. The most famous ruler of ancient Nova was King Vladimir. According to the history texts, he He began the policy of gathering light, which led to the predominance of the empire. Unfortunately, the texts don't explain exactly what that policy was. There's a reference, but that volume is missing. Until 200 years ago, Shangia was not a true domain, but a confederation of trading city-states, which was largely independent except for the limited rule of the elected council. The internal dispute led to the eventual victorious general declaring himself king. In the recent years, the Queen of Shijida has pursued an expansionist policy, conquering several small domains nearby and bringing them under her control. You receive a letter from the young Lord Adir. So far, he's enjoying himself with your uncle Armand of Mazomba. He says the trees look different. There are a lot more frogs. He looks forward to visiting the lookout fort at Shepherd's Point. Oops. So you're still yielding, but if we do a negative to that, we should be able to do expression. So we'll do royal demeanor for now. Let's do composure and elegance, I think. Yeah. You practice graceful arm gestures for every motion, from offering your hand for a kiss to taking hold of a banister on the stairs. You practice eating slowly with a minimum of mess, chewing each bite in a set number of times before swallowing. You practice standing up, sitting down, and picking up items from the floor. Bend at the knees, not the waist. At your command, your teacher strikes your palm with a leather talise, and you learn to bear the sting. You'll lie on a couch and try and remain relaxed while your teacher smacks your heels with a leather talise. Ow. Staring up into the sky from your window, you notice a strange flash of light. A falling star, pretty. Yay! Me, I'm so dumb. What week are we on? 26. Oh, we're about halfway. I think. We're really not having a good time with this one. You are strapped into a tight, heavy armor and made to walk around in it, learning that any attempt at sudden movement will catch painfully or trip you up. Slow and steady is the way to go. Your teacher smears your body and clothes with strawberry jam and makes you walk around like that for hours, facing the funny looks and snickers aimed at you without hiding or becoming angry. That sounds like fun. You practice giving commands to the castle staff, neither asking or demanding, but telling them what needs to be done. As long as you believe it to be true, they will as well. You practice watching people and willing them to feel your gaze on them. Inevitably, they will be drawn to you. instrument and voice. You tap out chiming Diaz on a glockenspiel, learning the basics of harmony and rhythm. You practice deep breathing exercises to build up your ability to sustain a note. My lady, there are letters here for you. Another letter from Bireni. Why does she keep writing me? We were never even friends. She says that she's bored and lonely, and she's looking forward to seeing me at Gwendolyn's birthday party. That's right, Gwendolyn is about to turn 15. She'll be the Duchess of Salisbury for real. The other letter must be an invitation to her birthday celebration next week. Gwendolyn and I were friends at school, but this is a big event and there's a long way to travel. A lot of things can happen on the road. Oh, I forgot to save before this. We're not gonna go. I'd better stay here. Yeah, you better stay here. Or you might get shot with an arrow and die. Woohoo! You discuss the nature of beauty, looking around at landscapes, objects, and people comparing their aesthetic elements. You learn the differences in resonance between the chest, head, and the nose. All of my friends are at Gwendolyn's party and I don't get to go, but I sent Gwendolyn a letter saying that I couldn't come, but it was her mother who replied. I think she's insulted that I didn't consider the event important enough to attend. Oops. My bad. What are we at now? Oh good, we're at the one that I want. Jeez. It only took forever. You learn about different vocal ranges, the most profound bass and the rare colortria soprano. You learn the sol-fa system, as well as expressing a tune where each note is represented by a different syllable. You learn to play notes and scales on a simple wooden recorder. You practice with the recorder, learning to recognize tunes that you hear and replicate them. The Duchess of Lilith has sent you a gift. What is it? It is a cushion finely embroidered with the design of a running horse. It's well done and clearly required hours of work and needlework, but it's also fairly useless. That's nice, I guess. Horses have been important in Lilith ever since, even before it was part of Nova, but this isn't a horse, it's just a pillow. I don't even like horses. We'll keep it. Find a chair or a sofa to set it on. We should change our outfit too, because we don't need. Just need to do decoration. You practice sketching fruits and flowers with charcoal on parchment. You study the theory of color and how they complement and contrast, and how select colors emphasize a mood. Practice major and minor scales at the keyboard of a pianoforte. You study musical notation and begin to play familiar songs by sight on the pianoforte. The Duchess of Mead is here to see you, my lady. Hello, Elodie. I'm sorry to trouble you, but have you seen Byrony? No, not since I left school. She shakes her head. She's gone missing. She's not at school where she should be. I know she was unhappy, but I never expected. She wrote me a letter saying that she was bored and looking for adventure, but that's all I know. Oh dear. I hope she hasn't done anything too foolish. My poor little lamb. I'll have to go look for her. So I'll do instrument and voice. Oh, not that one. This one. We practice complex runs, trills, and transposition on the pianoforte. You practice a transverse flute, learning how to form a beautiful tone by blowing across the mouthpiece. You practice standing in the correct posture and singing scales to improve your pitch and tone. You work through exercises in dynamics, going from soft to loud and back again, and agility, singing rapid sequences of notes. You are walking through the great hall. A freak gust of wind suddenly blows out all the candles in the room. How strange, there must be an open window somewhere. What do I want to do? You practice the hot voice, learning to apply pressure with your lips to control the vibrations of the double reed. You practice harp, learning to play the flowing glissandos and arpeggios. You practice sight reading and complex pieces of music. You sing familiar songs in chorale, focusing on pronunciation and staggering breathing. You and your teacher practice singing in harmony, feeling the way that the notes interact and pulse when not quite in line. You practice singing canons, learning to maintain focus on timing in your own vocal part, even when others around you are singing something quite different. Things have been so unsettled lately, everyone's on edge. I need to do something cheerful. You could hold a tournament. What a good idea! Knights, jousting, musicians, all sorts of competitions. Everyone loves a contest. What will you offer as prizes to the winners? Status and praise, employment, gold. Let's see. Go with employment. The winners will have the option of taking up royal appointments. It's a recruitment drive. Very well, I will draft the announcements. You leave him to his work. As you move through the hall, your eyes fall upon a vase of flowers, pretty, but apparently not getting enough water. The leaves on the one blossom has shriveled. Someone in the hall is being lazy, and these flowers should be replaced. You continue up to your room where the maid is waiting for you. My lady, a gift has arrived from Kegel. From the Duke? No, my lady, from a merchant house, I believe. It was sent with a shipment down the Calavan River. You open the brightly colored paper to find chocolates. Oh boy. There's a little card on the box. Our compliments the house of Kielet. As much as you love chocolate, it would be undignified to be too eager. I'm gonna save it for later. I don't feel like eating candy right now, maybe later. Practice walking over smoldering coals with bare feet. So long as you keep moving steadily and not panic and freeze or run, you are not burned. Your teacher gathers up some of the castle staff to shout insults at you while you practice staying calm and not bursting into laughter. You imagine things that you want to happen in the near future and then convince yourself and others that those things will happen. You organize a group of castle staff to coach them through carrying out a complicated multi-stage task. It is the week of the general tournament. Nobles and commoners alike have turned out to compete against each other. People will be pleased if you participate in their games, however it would expose you to danger. Which event do you wish to take part in? We'll do music. You place yourself in line for the bardic contest. When your turn comes, you take your seat at a beautiful wooden harp and let the notes fall in like rain. Your voice weaves a spell of love and loss over the crowd. Such a performance, the judges cannot help but name you the champion. All the winners are announced and displayed to great cheers. As near queen, you place flower garlands on their necks. All of a sudden, a man approaches the winner's platform. It's Kevin, the Earl of Lowe. On one hand, he carries an armored gauntlet, and in the other, the sword. Oh, we're dead. My family's blood is on your hands. What is he talking about? He casts the glove to the ground with a clatter and raises his sword, pointing at you. I challenge you, Elodie, a life for a life. He's challenging you to a duel? I'm not going to fight you just because you want me to. Unfortunately, it seems like he isn't interested in your refusal and charges at you anyway. The last thing you think is, that's not fair. You're right, it's not fair. Yay, we got run through with a sword! That's my favorite. No, it's not. Yeah. So that's cool. Elodie didn't survive to reach her coronation. Nova will have to go on without her, but it doesn't have to end this way. Make different choices and train different skills, and Elodie's star may rise again. So that'll be the end of this one, because we died. We will probably start up back where I last saved, and we will try and live next time and see if we can. If not, then I guess we're gonna die again. Anyway, so I hope that everybody has a nice day. If you like it, you can leave a like and subscribe, and you can comment below if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like me to play. And I hope that everybody has a good rest of their day.